Alright, let's design some strong characters. For those of you that don't know, I'm making an open world game called Craven. In some previous devlogs, and in a demo available on Discord, you might have seen this guy called Daigo. The initial idea for Daigo started when I was explaining the concept of Craven to my roommate, when he pitched his own idea. What if there was like this monk dude that will send you on random ass side quests, and if you complete enough of his errands, he'll sell you a literal fucking nuke. And we started brainstorming. What if the guy is actually really strong, but also chill and nonchalant about it? Like, he can choose to level a whole nation if he wanted to, but he won't because he just doesn't care or something. And from a character design perspective, what it does is it creates contrast. If there's anything I want you to take away from this video, it's this. Contrast creates interest. Daigo is of a race of people inspired by real-life Asian cultures. Once, those people were massacred as a revenge for some previous wrongdoings they did, and only a small secluded village survived. In that village lived Daigo's parents. Daigo's father was a wise and accomplished monk, and seeing his helpless people were going extinct, he devoted himself to some ritual I'm not gonna spoil. And following this, his first son, Daigo, was to be born with overflowing mana and therefore strength. But as a compromise, they will end up having twins, and Daigo's brother, Madara, was to be born bordering no mana, and doomed to live a life of weakness, misery, and pestilence. This again adds to the contrast between the brothers. It creates a dynamic where one must protect the other, who feels a sense of injustice towards the former. I should also explain how the magic system of Craven works. In this world, every living being has three aspects: the body, the mind, and the soul. The body is self-explanatory, it describes all physical aspects of you. Without a body, you have no vessel to inhabit, and your existence will dissolve into thin air, and this is what I call a rogue soul. The mind is the bridge between the body and the soul. Without a mind, you'll have nothing driving you, and you'll be purely reactive. A plant, essentially. And the soul is the deepest layer, most essential to life, and the backbone of the magic system. Without a soul, your body and mind simply just exist as a shell and will eventually wither or get possessed by a rogue soul. Using all three of these aspects in tandem, you can, for example, reinforce and strengthen your body, cast magic spells, and for advanced users, morph parts of your body or shapeshift completely. And since mana is the fuel to all of this, we can safely equate it to strength. Let's talk about Madara for a bit. So, Madara is Daigo's brother, and while Daigo was born with extreme strength, Madara was born with extreme weakness. Now, what if Madara managed to become physically powerful in spite of that? How would that work? Though his soul is weak, over time, he manages to grow his body and mind to the point where it almost doesn't even make a difference. More contrast. Madara hates determinism, likes people like him that work towards some impossible goal, and other than that, disrespects everyone equally. Contrary to his brother, Madara is short-tempered and makes it his life goal to defeat Daigo in order to prove a point. Strength is not hereditary and can be grown. In other words, you could say the brothers are a manifestation of the nature versus nurture thing. And with this, Madara also fits into the trope of that character that broke the chains of fate. Which is cool. Though beyond that, outside of his goal, Madara has nothing. Deep down, once he accomplishes this, he doesn't know what he'll do. And here, I want to highlight the importance of weaknesses. Probably the biggest issue with creating a strong and possibly overpowered character is that it makes it too easy for the plot to rely on them and to revolve around them. In other words, you need to answer the question, why wouldn't everyone depend on this character to solve all of their problems? That is done, as far as I know, through defining weaknesses. Us people are naturally flawed. I believe this is also why contrast is such a great tool for creating interest. Reality isn't so logical and perfect all the time. Most, if not all of us, have little lies we subconsciously tell ourselves, discrepancies between what we want and what we actually need, contradictions within ourselves, however big or little. And so, characters having these kinds of flaws and seeing them work through these defects makes them feel so much more human and believable. Daigo understands his duty to protect his people, but unless that's involved, he's really just a glorified pacifist and tends to not take things seriously enough. On top of that, he has his own inner insecurities and feelings of guilt and responsibility for indirectly making his brothers suffer. Madara may have gotten unapologetically powerful through sheer fucking will and resolve, but he is blinded by his own current goal. And because he just doesn't care about anything else, he tends to struggle to form new connections with people. Also want to briefly talk about Shitori. Shitori is Daigo's dog. I mean, dog. He's a beast, a hellhound in appearance, an apex predator that acts like a puppy around his master. Again, contrast, but kind of in a playful, comical manner. He likes playing with his prey, powerful opponents, and dislikes the cold. And yes, Shitori will be tameable in the game. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. In conclusion, when designing strong characters, you obviously need to have a reason why they're strong. Ideally something deeper than, oh, he wanted to be strong so he trained a bunch. But you also need to think about how that is going to impact their beliefs and values, or vice versa. What unique trait makes them worthy to be quote-unquote the strongest? I find that contrast of some kind is effective at preventing characters from feeling flat and one-dimensional. This can be applied to any character, but I think it's especially essential to strong ones because it leads to compelling weaknesses and it prevents them from feeling too perfect or becoming an automatic solution to every conflict. I believe the term is a Mary Sue character, correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, if you find this video helpful, consider subscribing and joining my Discord. I post updates for my game Craven over there. I hope you learned something. See you next time.